I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
Welcome to the Sport Report.
Tuesday, April 30th, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Our top story comes after a wild game in Dallas. St. Louis Blues 4, Dallas Stars 3. My goodness, this had a lot of goals to say the least. Tyler Seguin scored late into the third period to tie the game, but it was the one and only Pat Maroon, 18:22 into the third period, about a minute 38 left in the third, to score the winner for the Blues, who take a 2-1 series lead. My goodness, that was a fun game to watch. Since we're on the topic of the NHL, there are two games tonight. The Boston Bruins are at the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN in Columbus. That series is tied at 1. Another series tied at 1. The San Jose Sharks travel to the Pepsi Center. It's going to be loud there tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. Game 3 for the Sharks at the Avalanche is at 10 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Now that we've covered the ice, let's cover the hardwood.
For the win! Gone! He did it! We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! One of the greatest clutch playoff performers of his generation has apparently done it again.
Around the NBA.
Philadelphia 76ers 94, Toronto Raptors 89. This series is tied at 1 as it heads back to Philadelphia for games 3 and 4. Jimmy Butler scored 30 points and added 11 rebounds for the Sixers, but it wasn't him who led all scorers. Kawhi Leonard had 35 points for Toronto, and even though Siakam had 21 and Kyle Lowry had 20, it wasn't enough for the Raptors as they fall by 5 to a resurgent 76ers squad. In the second game of the night, Denver Nuggets 121, Portland Trailblazers 113. Well, 2 days after winning a Game 7 against the San Antonio Spurs, the Nuggets improved to 14-2 all-time at home in Game 1s of their series in the playoffs. Nikola Jokic had 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Nuggets, but it was Damian Lillard who was making a little bit of headlines. 4 30-point games now in the playoffs for Damian Lillard. He had 39 points and 6 assists on the night. Denver leads that series 1-0. They'll play Game 2 in just a couple of nights. There are 2 games on the NBA slate tonight. At 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT, the Boston Celtics are in Milwaukee to face off against the number 1 seeded Bucks. Boston leads that series 1-0 after winning 112-90 in Game 1. In the second game of the night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, also on TNT, the Houston Rockets play the Golden State Warriors. Golden State leads 1-0, but according to the NBA last 2-minute report, which is a review of the officials' calls in the last 2 minutes of close games, well, the officials missed some calls. Then there's the report that the Golden State Warriors are favored by the officials. Houston did an audit, in quotes, of Game 7 last year and determined that they were left out of the NBA Finals due to officials' calls in favor of Golden State. We'll see how the officiating plays out over the course of this series, but until then, Golden State 1, Houston Rockets 0. Game 2 tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Finally, we transition to baseball.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop. Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Someday, the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
Now from Major League Baseball.
There were 9 games on the MLB slate. St. Louis Cardinals 6, Washington Nationals 3. St. Louis scored all 6 of their runs in the 5th inning. Cincinnati Reds 5, New York Mets 4. It was Jesse Winkler who put the Reds up for good in the top half of the 9th with his go-ahead homer. Atlanta Braves 3, San Diego Padres 1, Minnesota Twins 1, Houston Astros 0. The only run that came in the game was Adrianza's home run off of Justin Verlander in the 3rd inning for Minnesota. Chicago White Sox 5, Baltimore Orioles 3, Tampa Bay Rays 8, Kansas City Royals 5, Milwaukee Brewers 5, Colorado Rockies 1. Boston Red Sox stormed out of the gates. Oakland took a 4-0 lead at the end of the second inning, but it was Boston who led 6-4 after the end of the third inning. Boston ends up winning 9-4 over the A's. Finally, San Francisco Giants 3, LA Dodgers 2. The Dodgers led 2-0 in the 6th. San Francisco scored 3 in the home half of the 7th and never looked back on Evan Longoria's 3-run double.
That's the Sport Report.
For the last day of April, April 30th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.